Body Solutions, where total physical fitness is directed by physical therapists. Today we're going to go over some common exercises to prevent shoulder injuries. It's very common. It's probably the number one most frequent body part that we treat at Body Solutions here in physical therapy. We commonly shoulder injuries in terms of shoulder from not being stable, from being too weak, and also just from improper posture that puts the shoulder at higher risk of sort of pinching and being inflamed. So we're going to cover some exercises that's going to be very beneficial to solve most of the common problems that you see, whether it be sports related or just sort of daily activity related. So here we go. The first exercise we're going to do is simply correcting for shoulder blade positioning. It's very common to see people with shoulder blades that are sort of slouched forward, rounded forward like this. And when the shoulder blades are rounded forward, what happens is inside the joint space, if this is the socket, the joint space gets smaller. When the joint space gets smaller and you try to lift up your arm, the space sort of pinches. The problem with that is in between these two bones, there are soft tissues. There's tendons. You might have heard of the rotator cuff tendons. There's a bicep tendon. There's a bursa, which is like a water balloon there for cushioning. The problem with repeated pinching is you get what's called impingement or inflammation in the shoulder. And typically you would feel that as pain sort of right in the front of the shoulder. If the pain is really bad, if the inflammation is a lot, you're going to get pain radiating down the arm. So the first exercise is just practicing squeezing your shoulder blades back and down together. Okay? So sort of getting it from a rounded position like this and squeezing it back and down. You want to hold sort of this back and down position for about 10 seconds, and you want to focus on squeezing the back muscles and not the sort of upper trapezius muscles here. You want to focus on the muscles right in between the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades, not backing up, but backing down. So you hold each one for about 10 seconds. You can do typically 10 repetitions. And you want to do this a couple times throughout the day to reinforce proper shoulder blade positioning. So the second exercise we're going to go through is to strengthen the rotator cuff muscles. They're muscles that help stabilize the shoulder joint, so when you go to reach, when you lift heavy things, when you punch, anything where your shoulder is moving sort of up here, those rotator cuff muscles prevent the shoulder from sliding up. Okay, so here's a great exercise sequence to help strengthen those muscles. First thing you want to do is just roll up a sweatshirt, towel, or if you have something like a foam roll like we do in the clinic here, you want to put it underneath the arm. This sort of helps the rotator cuff muscles contract better and also prevents rubbing of a little ligament in the front, so it's a little bit more comfortable. So we just have some resistance bands attached to the wall here. And again, before you start this exercise, the number one thing is posture. You want to make sure that your chest is up, shoulder blades back, and you just want to rotate your arm out. And if you notice, as I'm rotating out, I'm keeping my shoulder blade still. It's not sort of rolling in and rolling out. It's all about keeping the shoulder blade perfectly still while you're doing sort of the rotator cuff exercises. And right now I'm working with what's called the external rotators. There's sort of muscles back here in the back of the shoulder blade. And you would typically do this for 15, 20 repetitions if you can. You sort of want to build the endurance of these muscles more so than just brute strength. Okay? And after you do this, you would turn around, and I'll show you. You're going to go the opposite direction. Like so. You would do sort of both directions for about 15 to 20 repetitions, and you would do 2 to 3 sets of those per day. And then ideally you want to do these exercises after your typical weight training session or martial arts training. You don't want to do it before. Now a more advanced exercise is if you have no shoulder problems, you just want to make sure your shoulders are very strong and stable, you can do a movement where you grab the band like this and just sort of doing almost like you're back fisting someone. Okay? A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more challenging, still a rotator cuff exercise. And again, it's very important to maintain good posture, chest up the whole time. Like so. And same thing, you would do 15 to 20 repetitions to make sure you're building up the posterior cuff of your shoulder. And a combination of these exercises along with good posture is probably the best thing you can do to keep your shoulder healthy.